We've got two stories tied in here because we're not just really speaking of autos, we're also, in a way, speaking of oil or not, because we're talking about BYD. The revenue's passed $100 billion, and the chairman of BYD says that he wants to double international sales this year. Plus, investors are just a little bit excited about that 5-minute supercharger that they have announced. All three of those are excellent reasons to find out how China's best-selling car maker is doing here in the UAE. And we are joined by the company who has it here. Futtaim Electric Mobility. Mohammed Kassem is franchise director for BYD, which is, I am assuming, a very exciting job right now.
Absolutely, Vandy. First of all, good morning. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. The numbers that you've seen from China is absolutely amazing. 4.3 million vehicles. This is very good, but if you look at Q4 alone, they sold 1.5 million vehicles, out of which 600 are all electric. If you look at Q4 alone, they are 54% year-over-year growth. This is a truly achievement.
What are you seeing here?
So similar to China, we are seeing massive growth. So I'll tell you our story and our journey so far. So we started in March 2023. We started selling cars in July. For the first 6 months, we were selling about 50 cars. The following 6 months, we jumped to 100 cars a month. And then Q3 2024, we more than doubled, 250 cars a month. Q4, 500 cars a month. And this quarter, slightly above 500 cars. Our plan towards the end of the year, Q4, to achieve more than 1,000 cars a month.
What's pushing that curve? Is it just the sort of the acceptance of Chinese cars in other markets? How does that curve look alongside Chinese vehicles and indeed UAE vehicle sales in general?
So I'm going to talk in UAE in specific. So when we look at BYD in UAE, we looked at the full ecosystem. So we didn't look only about cars. We look at product is one element, charging is the other element, and the technical expertise. When you look at product, we have two technology. BYD is very unique. All electric cars and plug-in hybrid cars, whoever is not ready to jump into the electrification yet.
Who's buying them? Is there a typical BYD customer?
I think all nationalities, all sorts. We have a car for everyone.
What's your best-selling model out of that lineup? Because as you said, you've got...
So when you look, again, I'll split it. So for electric, we have BYD Atto 3, just because we stayed 1 year only selling BYD Atto 3, nothing else. When you look at plug-in hybrid, there is BYD Song. Overall, last year, for example, we are 65% of our sales are all electric.
Okay, let's dig into that because there's some interesting things going on there. You guys also sell the chargers, don't you? You have a full solution there.
Exactly. So when we started selling electric cars, we realized that without charging, we will never be able to do it. So we launched a company called Charge to Move. We pledged to build 10% of the nation infrastructure. With Charge to Move, initially we started B2C and B2B. As of early last year, we focused on charging hub for limousine driver to cater to this segment. And I'm not in charge of it, but I know that we're looking at the retail infrastructure right now.
Does everyone who buys a BYD, or what percentage of people who buy a BYD install their own charger at home?
If you're talking about electric, almost 80 or 90%. I mean, today the infrastructure is getting better, but if you live in a residential building, you need a charger in your house, and you live a villa, it's very easy to do it. When you look at plug-in hybrid, not everyone charged the car.
One of the big announcements that we've had from BYD in the last week, and one of the reasons we wanted to talk to you, was that 5-minute supercharger, which had a massive pop on the BYD shares. Are you talking to them about bringing it here?
Actually, yes. So typically with BYD, anything they launch in China, it takes a year and a half to come here. What they do first, they bring the cars in the summer to validate that the cars are suitable for this climate, hot summer test. So we are confident that maybe towards end of next year, we will see some of this technology coming here.
Okay, so we could have this supercharger by the end of next year.
So we will have the cars ready to charge at this 1 megawatt. However, the charging, it will be dependent on the infrastructure.
Have you spoken to BYD, and I realise it's been less than 24 hours, about their announcement that they want to double their international sales this year and your role in it?
Actually, yes, we're always talking to them about the growth and ambition. Actually, this is in line with our ambition. If you look at, we are a 1.5-year-old company. 3 years from now, our ambition to be top 3, top 5 in the UAE as well as in Saudi. Al Futtaim also pledged 50% of all our sales will be new energy vehicle. So yes, we are in talks. Their ambition is as high as our ambition.
Well, I was going to say, the numbers you've given me from what you've done in Q1 and what you want to do by Q4 is exactly their ambition, which is to double your sales. How do you double your sales?
So to start with, we started with a strategy called Closer to You, so network. Just this year alone, we opened 3 showrooms, 4 service center. We launched 1 car. During this year, we are to launch 6 to 8 more cars, including 2 new brands, premium and luxury brands for BYD.
Well, one of the things that we've discussed on the show here has been insurance for Chinese cars. We have had some of the insurance amalgamators in the studio. They've said that there is a reluctance to insure some Chinese brands amongst insurers, and that insurance can be incredibly costly. I've gone in myself and done the sums. Is this something that customers are worrying about? Is it putting them off?
So to be honest, the quick answer, we have an insurance company. However, but when you when you look at Al Futtaim, the insurance, the biggest issue is the parts availability, cars off-road, and then the customers getting affected. Al Futtaim guarantees that this will not happen. On top of this, BYD launched the regional distribution center for parts for Middle East and Africa here in Dubai. So for a consumer in Dubai or an insurance company in Dubai dealing with BYD, they don't have to worry about any of this.
Okay, but you're then insuring the BYDs yourself?
Yes, we have Orient Insurance.
Does that mean that you are insuring them at a comparable rate to cars from anywhere else in the Al Futtaim network?
Exactly. We offer a very competitive rate. The same rate that we insure our sister company is the same rate that BYD cars get.
Okay, we've got 1 minute left with you. Let's ask the Ramadan question, which we've also asked of every car maker who has been into us so far. What have Ramadan sales looked like for you this year?
So I'll tell you from an order take. I'm not going to tell you from sales. So Q4 last year, we were achieving on retail perspective almost 100 cars a week booking. Retail only without B2B. Ramadan so far, there was a week we achieved 197 cars. So our also booking is doubling during this Ramadan.
Is it because the offers are better? Is it population growth? What's your theory?
I think offers, it's a combination of offers, network, and we just launched the BYD C-Line 7, which is an absolute amazing car, family SUV, and it's a perfect car for the market.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning on the back of 3 different BYD headlines that have come together. They're all very ambitious headlines. The one that affects us the most, presumably, is the fact that BYD thinks it's going to double its global sales before the end of this calendar year. Thank you for coming in and talking to us about what the UAE is going to play into that strategy. Mohammed Kassem, Franchise Director for BYD at Al Futtaim Electric Mobility. Thank you.
Thank you.